karaoke a lot. I go to because I love it. I feel like because Mark was like we gotta go to karaoke now. I'm getting the karaoke urge, I love those guys who do like Mark doing like I am. They were like Pearl Jam dudes, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. I dated that guy. And then I start. I'm like, no, I'm done. Okay. So I want to do my impression of the last karaoke singer at 2:00 in the morning. You're pretty cute. What's your sign? Mine's slippery when wet. Start over. And you can turn it down a little bit too. I can hear my fucking self. Are you guys a couple? Are you just fucking each other? Oh my god, look at the rock on your finger. Bitch. Start over! Stop somewhere over rainbow skies are you. There's no fucking rainbow anywhere, people! Who the hell are you looking at? You just want me from my pussy. Well, just wait a minute. Wait till I finish the song. Funny little shit! I'm seeing flying monkeys. And funny little birds fly. Why, oh, why can't I? Please give me a ride home tonight. Thank you very much. All right, welcome to my live stream tonight. I wanted to play that for you because the reason why I thought maybe it might be cool just to show some of my stand-up anyway, since most people want to say like part of what this is I don't know, I just feel like I've been so bashed, like, oh, you're a failed comedian, and oh, hold on. Oh, wait, Joe Rogan just came on. Okay, he followed me on that. That's weird. In terms of the video, yeah, that was a performance that I did in Spokane, Washington. It was back in 2012, actually, and I was headlining the club back then, and when I was on Truth Seekers a while ago, Stephen Cambion played, I was doing a show with him, the last show that I did, and he showed a little bit of my stand-up from Comedy Time, and then he got a copyright strike on it. Not a strike in the sense that it affected his channel, but he wouldn't be able to monetize because it belonged to the comedy time people. And he says, well, do you ever like show your stand-up on your own show? And I thought, oh, why not? But I'm actually showing my stand-up for a point. I thought, why not show it? But I want to first of all, I'm going to start off here. When it comes to, because basically what I'm doing is, this show's really about, like its title, have you heard any rumors about me lately? Have you heard any rumors about me lately? It kind of reminds me, when I think of that title, it makes me think of Pee Wee Herman at the MTV Music Awards when he got caught for wanking in a theater, and he's like, heard anything about me lately, recently? And I'm just like, it's like, apparently, according to Smoke King, I am a homophobe, and I am running a homophobe troll network. And the reason why I'm going to show you like later on, not right now, but later on, because it's about 20 minutes actually. I think you might enjoy it. In my piece, in that particular stand-up set, you'll see it later, and when I get to it later, I'll show it to you, where I talk about gay marriage. When I talk about that, I think the right, that love is endless, and it doesn't matter if you're, male and female, and this and that, and blah, 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 blah. You'll see me say it there. Smoking, you really messed up by saying something like that, because I've actually worked in the community. I was a canvasser. I canvassed for Equality California to overturn Proposition 8 in California. At one point, our court system sanctioned gay marriage in California, and then it went on the ballot. It was funded by the Mormon Church, and it was voted, and it was overturned. This was back in like 2008, 2009 time. And at the time, believe it or not, and I might even show a video of her too, Janet Stewart, I was living in West Hollywood, and I was taking care of an old Hollywood actress who happened to be a lesbian, right? She was part of Gay Hollywood, and I was her family. Like she was at the elderly years, the ending years of her life. And I was her family. So I took care of her and oversaw her medical and up until after her death. All right. I don't know if you know this. Also, I was one of the, way back, I produced a show with, comedy show with Ludovica, a very funny comedian. And it was called The Nasty Divas. And there was a third diva that was actually a trans person. Before it was popular, before we're here now, before we have the Olympics, before any of this stuff, I was doing stuff like that. So for you to like say that I am in any way a homophobe, also I I also did several benefits for the Pasadena AIDS Foundation. I also hosted numerous drag shows and I even did drag, where I was Sunny with a guy who was Cher at Encounters in Pasadena. Like, I can't think of anything more pathetic or slanderous to like hypothesize on. Like, where are you getting this premise at? Like, what, because Jeff Reed made a comment about cigars and smoking or something like that you've interpreted like Charles from Project Camelot? And because these are the only guys that are actually in my corner. So they are being, assumed to be homophobes. And that I'm not going in other people's chat rooms and causing havoc. I don't have time to be in everybody's chat rooms. I'm mainly a content provider. I do sometimes watch certain people's shows, and I do participate live sometimes, but I'm really not a regular chat person. I used to go into CVV Chanter's chat. I used to go into Steve Cambion's chat. But by and large, I just go to school and I work on building my own channel and looking towards like where am I going at in terms of a content provider and a podcaster and a blogger and things like this. I do a lot of social media, and I have matter of fact, I took a social media class last semester. So I post a lot on Facebook. I'm not as much on Twitter, although you've paid attention to my Twitter. I'm mostly an Instagram, Facebook person. But I've been focusing on Twitter too. So I don't know where you're going with this, what the situation is. And, and like, you know what? I haven't even had time to really watch your videos. You've done endless posts about me on YouTube by putting pictures up and saying disparaging things, and taking whatever I'm posting on Twitter or whatever and doing your analysis and commentary on it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I believe I understand you're telling people, that number one, I disgraced Jiggy, which I didn't. And apparently you can't find any evidence because you made a post on YouTube here saying something like, what did you say? You said that even though I've deleted the nasty things I said about Jiggy doesn't mean that it happens. No, dude, it never happened. That's why you can't find it. But, how clever of you to tell your crowd that, right? Like, if that's an excuse. I'm not sure if people are actually really believing it. And if they are, I'm thinking, God help them. Either they want to believe it because they're part of the I'm the target now, because like I'm not always the target, but this is my week, or this is my month, or this is my year to be the target. Now, the reason why this started in the first place, and by the way, you're saying that I'm having opinions. That this is another thing. It's my opinion that Lee Veltman is doing these things, or I guess your group, like Robin Eaglesong's channel with Maggie Woodward and whatever, that it's my opinion that they are doing these things, right? Or Jolly Bridge Burner or whatever. Actually, dude, I'm going to call you dude because I feel like it, because I could call you something a lot worse if I wanted to. But I'm going to try to be PC here on YouTube and not swear. I'm going to try not to swear because you swear, right? I mean, I don't it's just part of your vernacular, right? I swear too. Although I guess it's more offensive for me to swear because I'm a woman, right? Anyway. All right. Actually, Smoke King, here's what happened. This is before I knew you, you know me, or whatever in my history. I have my own history with Lee Veltman. So I have my own personal experience of what happened. And my personal experience matches other people, matches other women. Just so happens that even after I've done these videos, even more people have come forward. And honestly, I felt that I was part of this particular type of media in some way. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but maybe it's because I have kind of walked the gauntlet. I was on Revolution Radio. I was on American Freedom Radio. I branched off into my own stuff. I've been doing this for a while. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but do you know the show Normal Show Live with Radical Russ Bilfeld with Normal, the National Organization for Reform of Marijuana Laws? Yeah, I did the California report for 7 years. So if you want to talk about cannabis or relating to this or that, that's another thing that maybe you don't really exactly know about. I actually did all kinds of fundraisers for legal defense funds for people who were unfairly, arrested and going to court when they were growing medical marijuana before we legalized it. As a matter of fact, and you're going to see this in the stand-up routine that I'm going to show, the clip I'm going to show later on today, is about my marijuana experiences and the fact that I was in a raid. I ended up being in the doctor's office in the same building as a medical marijuana dispensary in North Hollywood, and I was in a raid. And the Pasadena Weekly, I was on the cover of the Pasadena Weekly, blowing marijuana smoke up in the air with the words how a DEA raid turned me into a missionary for medical marijuana. Don't ever underestimate. Oh, and on top of that, after that happened, I was on the board of directors of a grassroots nonprofit in California called the Patient Advocacy Network, which I was ended up being on the board of directors. And we did an award-winning float, a medical marijuana float, the only one of its kind that's ever happened in the 2008 Gay Pride Parade in Hollywood. We won the most coveted amateur award you can get for the most colorful and artistic float. So, I'm gay. I'm a gay hater. And I have an award-winning float in the Gay Pride Parade. Wow. Don't you look like a fool. Because you know what you're doing? You're discrediting the fact that Lee Veltman has been stalking women. Lee Veltman and Jolly Bridgeburner have been in other people's chat rooms causing issues. And I noticed that they were affiliated with your network. Now you say you don't know, you've never met, you never know, you don't know Lee Veltman, like whatever, like there's nothing there. Well, I'm going to show today that you do, and that you're basically lying. And so let's start with here.
I know you on the fucking internet. You'd say the same fucking thing. We never fucking met. Yeah, there's some people here. Natasha, she's been here. We know Natasha. Lee, we know Lee. Jilly, I don't know, But go over there and tell him how much of a fucking piece of shit fucking loser he is for me. Piece of fucking shit.
That he's actually talking to Stephen Cambion, and if you see the longer version of the video, which I might even pull up here, but that's just a little clip right there. Somehow Stephen Cambion saying that we were friends or whatever, and the point that he's making is that I know Natasha. By the way, Natasha, after you did your show on Monday, I believe it was, one of your first trash show this week or whatever, she made it a point to come over and harass me too. So another person from your network that saw your show came over and did some shitty things on Twitter. Okay, so Natasha personally. So now I already have proof again that someone named Natasha that you know of personally, and you also know Lee Veltman personally. And the other people, I think you mentioned another person, and the other people, well, they're just people that you know online. And Stephen Cambion's no bit better than that, right? So you know Lee Veltman. And I'm going to show you something else here. I got some screenshots that Jeff Reed gave me. And there's more than one thing to look at here. You can also see the early relationship between Jiggy and between Jeff Reed. So where they go back, and how they all know Lee Veltman as well. So let's just talk about this for a moment. All right, here we have, let me see, can you see this okay? Yeah, all right. Here we have Jiggy, okay, Joey Webb. They crossed the line when they came after my kids. Sarah Adam, okay, so this person talking right now is Jeff Reed, I believe. Yes. Okay. So Jeff Reed says they crossed the line when they came after my kids. Sarah Adams sent CPS to Max's mom's house after his sister died. Vanessa Bates had temporary custody. I know this because I talked to Vanessa on the phone. These people are sick and they slither very low. So Jiggy says, hey, brother, I'm sorry that you and your family went through that. It's horrible. It also sucks that anyone would pull your family into the stupidity. We all are dealing with the para community. Way too much shit goes on. I purposely keep my family and personal life out of it because you can whatever you want to me, I can take it, but nobody around me should have to be involved because of what I believe or not believe in. I wasn't choosing sides. I just didn't know what was going on with you all. I had back surgery in October and was in deaths before. Just had another surgery a couple of weeks ago. I'm recovering from, so that's why I haven't been trying to go too hard. Just need to recover and not have the extra BS going on while I'm doing it. Then Jeff Reed says, I hope you feel better. Joey, I wasn't asking you to take sides. That's what is going on, and we will leave it at that. Get well, my friend. The Auroras are waiting for us. I'm receiving about $500,000 in the next 80 days. Kevin Moore brought my family into all of this. It's sad because my kids love him. Cambion is Chanter's boy. He's only making remarks about my kids because Chanter told him to. They both know more and them called CPS on me based on a lie. Fuck Chanter. He's lucky he lives on the East Coast and he knows it. Once Chanter's woman leaves him, when he starts drinking again, Chanter will be living back in his office. Okay. I hope you're still with me on this. All right. The next one is, hold on. Well, I'll tell you, I don't just trust many folks anyways. This is Jiggy. I keep a small circle of friends. People get greedy and want attention, fame, and money. There's not a lot of genuine people looking for real truth or answers. Most people trying to make it to the top of the community. You have a beautiful family. Take care of them and yourself and let those other folks kick rocks. TLY, my friend and I are going to see the Auroras. Okay. And I'm going to go to the next one. Oh, here we get to we're going to get to the Lee part here. My two daughters, age 4 and 6. By the way, I'm 61. And then Jiggy says, awesome family, my brother. I'm 50, never had any kids, but have a stepdaughter and grandbaby. And this is like this is 2 years ago. So this is 3/11/20. Oh, wow. And 3:33 p.m. That's interesting. Still family, and that's all that matters. And then he says, yes, I agree. I've got children, grown and married and out of college. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. I talk to Lee Veltman on the phone from time to time. This is Jiggy. I talk to Lee Veltman on the phone from time to time. We have been friends for a few years. I now live in the town he used to live in. He's going to travel out here soon. I will be hooking up with him. And then this actually, this part right here is being written by Jeff Reed. Okay. And then here's Jiggy. Lee's my boy. Good people, but most folks don't know him and don't like him based on social media. And then there's the, funny emojis. All right. I'll tell you, I don't trust many folks anyway. Okay, anyway, so you should, okay, and it goes on, you have a beautiful family, take care, blah, blah, blah. Practice, idiot. Okay, this stuff is like, roll a fat one and get ready for NerdCon next season. Lots of minded nerds there. So here's just more of the conversation. And let's see. I kind of clicked off of everything. I think I got it all, actually. Oh, here it is. More Lee. I want to show you just a little bit more Lee Veltman. I like Lee. He was the one who sent me the link to you guys when you were addressing that Zen BS. You were having your live stream. I would not have found out about you guys if it weren't for Lee. That is Jeff. Glad he linked us. So he's saying, glad he linked us. I invited you to the closed group. You didn't have to join. I'm not into many groups, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, let's see. I'll pick you up next year. Would love to see them, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's their conversation. So just so you know, like, I think it's kind of good to it's good to know with the background of people. No, Stephen Cambion did not call CPS. Guess who called CPS? Sarah Rachel Adams called CPS. Let's just get that out there. Stephen Cambion did not call CPS on anybody's kids. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's too confusing for me. LOL. Cambion. No. Cambion never trolled me. The video that I played of Smoke King going off on somebody and saying that, that you're not my friend. You don't know me. You've never been here personally. He's talking about Lee Veltman. That video was actually directed towards Stephen Cambion. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and play that again just because it might have been, I had somebody send me a clip, but I actually have the actual video. So let me clarify this for a second on it. Let me go with, okay, let's see. All right, let me go back. This is from Paranormal Hood. It starts about 12, and this was actually made. This video was February 28th, I think. It's in response to the video that Stephen did about Jiggy. Okay. And he was upset. Yeah. We saw what you wrote. Yeah. No, it was Sarah. Sarah loves calling CPS on people. I mean, that's where this is going. I mean, look, first of all, he doesn't have receipts, and I didn't do what he said. All I did was point out that the people that were harassing look, the reason why I became aware of Lee Veltman was because I was told he was in my chat room with sock puppet accounts. And I was like, what is he doing here? Then I saw some nasty stuff on Robin Eaglesong stuff. It was like, and then I saw a video by Charles Unleashed basically talking about Lee Veltman. Then I made a video about that going, who's he talking about? And then I found out it was Lee Veltman. So Lee had been in my past and then all of a sudden was back again. Then I saw all this stuff that I'm not alone with other women of what's going on. And then I realized that I had given him my phone number. I used to talk to him on the phone, And then recently, the reason why I brought it up again, because I wanted to leave this to bed. I'm like, okay, that's my answer. Smoke King's he's not going to, because my point was, being that I thought that, I mean, I've done shows with Chanter, and I've done shows with Cambion, I've done shows with Kevin Moore, and I was on that Simon Parks video that we did, you know, with M's Truth Seeker outing Simon Parks and all that kind of, about being a sexual predator. And I thought that in this community, it's not right for Lee Veltman to be doing what he's doing. Then I found out there's these court documents and restraining orders and, you know, unlawful entry and all kinds of other stuff. And then when I brought it up again recently, it's because I did a live stream that I had guests on, and a couple of my guests got stalked by whom they believe to be your gang in their personal life with people that have nothing to do with this. And to be honest with you, one of those people is Charles. He's even taken his channel down. He's out. That's how spooked he is about it. So my thought is like, you can sit here and say that I'm making it up all I want. I only came out because I want to feel safe. But I guess I'm a Karen, right? Like, you don't care about women? Like, let's talk about people that have biases or against a certain group of people. Could those people be women? Because it looks like the main people that Lee Veltman goes after is women. Oh, well, I mean, Charles got in there, but why did he get it? Because he's defending, or he's actually giving, you know, talking about this. He's actually saying, hey, this is not right. And because I question that. See, it's the fact that you've done what you've done in response to me. I think what I asked was reasonable. I think it's necessary to ask a question like that. If you don't think women are, you know, that we shouldn't be badgered, that we shouldn't have somebody uninvited that we don't want in our chat room come in and cause issues. No. And then I noticed that they were those are the people that are associated all the time in your channel, and you harbor, like, I think it would have been right for you to step up to the plate and, like I said, do the right thing, but you didn't do that. You've gone all the way over here that I just think is just frankly over the top. And because you've done it, makes me wonder if you're not guilty. Because, you know, one of the things that I learned, because, you know, I'm going to bring it back. I am in school. I'm taking a persuasion class, is that when people lie, they over-explain things. Like they, you know, so now it's this, now it's that, now it's this, now I'm that. It's always something wrong with the person that's saying blah, 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 blah. Look, as far as I'm concerned, I have my answer. Now, as far as you're concerned, going around and slandering and saying that I'm a homophobe, especially during this political time, makes me sound like I'm some sort of right-wing Karen, which is like what you like to program me or let your people to think that I am, of which I'm not. Just because you are minimizing the damage that's been happening to people by saying that it's an opinion and not a fact. When you have 2, 3, 4 women, we've even other channels talking about how many videos are out there right now about Jolly Bridge Burner and Lee Veltman? Well, you know what? I can even show you one. I'm a full-blown Karen. Try me out. All right, first I'm going to show you the full video of what he said so you can get the whole. It's from the 12-minute to on. And he actually threatens to physically do physical harm against Stephen Cambion, which I think is kind of like not right either. A physical threat.
Consequences. We are no longer associated with you or in contact with you. And again, we say it all the time. You're not my fucking friend. I know you on the fucking internet. He'd say the same fucking thing. We never fucking met. Yeah, there's some people here. Natasha, she's been here. We know Natasha. Lee, we know Lee. Jilly, I don't know, But you just fucking nobody. That sold the fuck out. Sold the fuck out. You're gonna sit there and say that you decided that you was the enemy? No, you made yourself the fucking enemy. This is the consequences. This is what happens when you fucking do the bullshit that you fucking do and sell the fuck out. He died before I could mend those fences. We don't want those fences fucking mended. We know what fucking kind of piece of shit you are. I always thought we both had more time. I always thought we would have more time to mend those fences, more time to make things right. But one of us ran out of time. There's no making things right when you are fucking a piece of shit, spreading fucking lies and disinformation for fucking money. You're part of the fucking circus. You're a fucking clown. His time expired before I made amends. We were friends and allies once. Maybe consider allies, associates. We knew each other and shit. But as far as fucking friends go, dude, again, no offense to fucking everybody in the chat and shit. We ain't fucking met and everything like that. But you know what I mean? We know each other online and shit. I know you're here every fucking Thursday night with us and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? Scambian, we ain't your fucking friend. You'll miss him? Fuck you, you'll miss him. You're just using this for a fucking goddamn grift. You're trying to fucking get money out of this shit. Sorry if this is hard to understand. It ain't fucking hard to understand that you're a sellout fucking hypocrite piece of shit using this fucking passing of my fucking best friend for you to get fucking money, you fucking scumbag loser. Warmest regards, Steven Scambian. And that, of course, links to his fucking channels and shit and his fucking Patreon and his fucking PayPal and everything else. Fucking send me fucking money, everybody. Send me money. Watch this fucking video and send me fucking money. You fucking piece of shit. Take the fucking shit down. Take the fucking description down. Don't fucking put up anything there about my friend. He's my friend. Not your fucking friend, Steven Scambian. We wouldn't be friends with fucking sellout fucking losers like you. Ever. Ever. You could fucking go and change your whole fucking shit and fucking do Mr. fucking nice guy, but we still know that you're a piece of shit at fucking heart. He's a fucking loser. You can't see you guys can't see. I already fucking went over there, but go over there and tell him how much of a fucking piece of shit fucking loser he is for me.
Okay, and what he just did right there is actually against the YouTube. It's a YouTube violation. When you look up cyber harassment or cyberbullying, if you look about like it's considerate when you're doing a broadcast and you're trashing somebody and then you're telling your audience to go over and do something that's negative, that is not okay. That is bullying right there. It's not okay. It's against the rules. I think you should probably read that, Smoke King, or maybe but because it's not okay.
You fucking believe that? And he's fucking playing the video. Fucking, he's sitting there fucking saying all kinds of fucking shit. That we fucking this and we're that and everything like that. No, we called you out for what you're doing. Exactly what you're doing. And everything you fucking said, I played the fucking clips. I got entire fucking clip shows of you saying this fucking bullshit. What do you got? You ain't got shit. Show me saying it. Come on. Fucking tough guy. I don't give a fuck if he was drunk. I don't give a fuck what the fuck he was. He's a fucking piece of shit. He did think it through. He thought through every goddamn fucking thing that he fucking did. There's no misspelled words in there. There's no fucking nothing. He knew exactly what the fuck he's doing. He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. He's a fucking piece of shit. I'm looking right at you, fucking Scambian. You're a piece of fucking shit. Better hope we don't ever fucking see each other face to face, because I will fucking kick your teeth in.
See?
I don't give a fuck.
There you go.
Don't fucking talk about my fucking friend like that.
There you go. That's a physical threat. That's a physical threat. That's a physical threat. Right there. Lovely. Right. And then you're telling your audience to go after them. See, It would be different when I pointed out about Lee Veltman and everything like that, and you actually did something, or you said, gee, we don't want women to feel safe on the internet or something like that. But now that you've lied about me, you've done videos, you've bullied me, you've tried to do legal coercion, you had some friend of yours that is in the mushroom business, you've done all these things, and which are harassment. You have become exactly what I'm saying needs to stop. You've become that. Do you realize that? You're actually doing what I was trying to get protection against. Because really, honestly, all I want is protection. All I want is to feel safe on the internet when I do my shows. I'm looking for the truth just like you are. And nobody has the corner market on creating and searching for what that is. All right. And I want to show you something else too. Smoke is a skinny little wimp. Right? I thought about, I almost titled this, I was a gay activist before when you were working at Burger King. It was like, when you were at Burger King, I was canvassing for gay marriage. All right. I'm sure you were at Burger King, hopefully before that, but you said it was 25 years or something like that. So, friend in the mushroom business. No, you've missed a show. I think you the last. I'm sorry to be. I thought you were there because I've seen your site before. He tried. Smoke King tried to, when I came out asking this question. Then he went in and said that I was abusing the family when I wasn't. That I said awful things about Jiggy and everything, and I didn't. And in response to this, and then he tried to email me a cease and desist letter. And a cease and desist letter is nothing more than you can print it up on the internet. It's it's not a court document. It's not sanctioned from the court. It really basically is just like, hey, unless you stop this, we're going to take legal action. And a person could, either not open it and ignore it, which is what I did, except I'm talking about it now. Or you can, say, I'm ignoring it. I think this is bogus. I'm not agreeing to this. And this is what I think. I think it's bogus. I didn't do it. I didn't do. All I asked was, can you is this? I'm seeing that everybody that's in your chat, and really pretty much the only people in your chat, are the people that are doing this on the internet, and more specifically two people who the worst culprits would be Jolly Bridge Burner and Lee Veltman. And Lee Veltman is the one who's really the problem. The problem really lies mostly beyond anybody else. The person that I really think should be reported to the police is Lee Veltman. I think we're at a point now, I think for some people, that calling the police and reporting what he's doing online, and if he's stalking you, YouTube says, and I'm not saying do this, but YouTube says, because I did do a tweet, I'm being cyberbullied by this channel yesterday was insane. You guys, if I know that a bunch of people came over here and subscribed to my channel yesterday, right? Because I don't know if you're here because you see this as you're watching it go down because you know that it's happening because you're here because I'm telling the truth, or you're here because you're part of them and you want to harass me on top of it or report to them, or it's part of a swarm for you to be here. I don't know what's if you are here for the good reason, well then welcome. If you're here for the bad reason, well I hope you choose to do something different. I mean, because we pride ourselves in being in a community that, is supposed to be looking for the truth and this and that. And by the way, speaking of woo, speaking of products, I looked at the Amazon Prime series, and I can't tell if you guys are disputing that the paranormal doesn't exist on your series on Amazon, or you're actually looking for it. Because in the description, it says something like, you went to this place that might be haunted to look for paranormal activity, and you went to like a jail in Boston or in Massachusetts or something like that. I'm just working from memory here because I glanced at it last night a little bit. You guys got 2 episodes up on Paranormal Hood. So isn't that woo? I mean, if you are looking for ghosts, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that kind of woo? Sort of. I mean, definitely it's not 3D, right? I think it would go into the woo category, and yet you sit back and act like you're the authority on everything woo and everything credible. And I just find it kind of hypocritical that you even have the word paranormal in the title of what your brand is. And you're gonna like decide like which woo is correct and which woo isn't correct. Is that what we're doing here? And I watched a video that you did recently, a little bit. I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing because, frankly, you're not my cup of tea. But I do like to see who you trash sometimes, just to see where your head's at and what you're doing and why, and who got on your list or whatever. And you were upset about Steven's show. I mean, about the elongated skulls of the Nephilim. That wasn't true, and this and that, blah, 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 blah. This is woo. And then was that the guy that had his face covered? Is that the mushroom guy? Because let me explain the mushroom guy. Mushroom guy came up to me after I didn't respond to the letter that means nothing. Because, like, if you want to go to court about defamation or slander or something like that, you got to get an attorney to actually do a court document, and you better have a case. Because those kind of cases are the hardest to prove, number one. And number two, you got to make sure, like, I have a case. I have a case that you went in with no facts, no nothing, and called me a homophobe based on some really weak evidence. I mean, talk about trying to grab at straws and make up a theory. Boy, that's some woo right there. All right. And then spinning it like I'm guilty of running a channel like you are, and yet I'm a full-time college student. I do what? Lately I've been live streaming more. I mean, I had spring break and this and that, and I'm dealing with this. I would be doing something else if I wasn't here dealing with this. I'd rather be talking about something else than this situation. But I think it's important. I think it's important whether you want to like make me credible or not. I think it's important as a woman to take a stand. I don't know. There's a poet, essay writer, an author, Audre Lorde, I believe. There's a quote, a famous quote that she has. It's called, "Your silence will not protect you." My silence will not protect me in standing up for myself and for other women of what's been going on the internet. So when I'm not succumbing to this bullshit, then the mushroom guy contacted me through Instagram and sent me an email through Instagram working on negotiating between me and Smoke King and saying, if you take all your stuff down, he'll take all his stuff down. And, I can help you with your journalism. I can give you some sort of job or whatever. And I researched him a little bit, and I found him on channels where he had his face covered because he's selling mushrooms, right? I mean, it's not legal yet. I know that there's some states that, I don't know, it hasn't been legalized in a state yet or not. I'm not sure. I have to go look on that. But I know a person here in California that was trying to get it on the ballot. And there's talk of it having medicinal qualities. And I'm not, anti-mushroom or putting down anything like that. But right now, I know it's probably not legal. And I'm not sure if the person who has his face covered actually has a legal grow that he's talking on. He has a lot of followers. And, he's putting himself out there. In a way, you could look at somebody like that as being a hero. A lot of the people that work in the cannabis industry that went legitimate or whatever, they took great risks and selling it when it wasn't legal. And you know what? Maybe Smoke King's one of those people. And, if he is, I apologize, right? Hopefully he's doing the right thing now with it. Because there's this, gray area about stuff. So I want to just address that here for a moment. But, the point is though, if we were to be in a court of law, right, and you were trying to discredit me or shut me up for something that, I'm just trying to protect myself with, or make sure that my guests are safe on my channel, your treatment of me and the lies that you've been done and the bullying and the intimidation and the fact that you've threatened Stephen Cambion in a video and you've said those things that you at one time you were at a job doing that, if it doesn't make you look good in your own prosecution of somebody that's asking for them for protection and for this to stop on the internet, or even questioning that it's happening, and then to have you go to what you do does not make you look good. I don't see where I've done anything wrong. Everything that I've shown, I've at least shown some sort of evidence to at least make my argument plausible. Even if I'm wrong on what I think is going on or what I'm suspecting is going on, at least I'm showing receipts to back up why I'm saying what I'm saying and why I feel the way I do. And I don't see you doing that. I see you, showing my videos and ranting and raving and whatever and doing a lot of this and that and blah, 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 blah. You're basically doing ad hominem. You're poisoning the well. You're saying shit. You're gaslighting. I would, if you're going to go into the illogical fallacies, you're doing a lot of gaslighting. And I think that a lot of it, what you're doing is psychological. It probably makes you happy to think that I am getting thrown off, or it probably pleases you to think, well, maybe you are sabotaging my studies. Right? It's a distraction in my life, and I don't know where you're getting the energy to do this. But I really think that, something needs to be resolved here. Now, personally, I don't want to go to court. I don't. If I had the money, I would start right now ready to sue you. I would start to slam you with a defamation suit because I think I really have something. But then you have to think, well, is it worth it? Does it matter? Do you even have the money to write me a check and pay for the compensation that the lies that you've spread in public about me? Those are lies. Those are lies. That's slander. And when you talk about journalism, when you talk about what's required, when you work for a paper, you have to be able to support what you do. You got to have your receipts. You got to have the reason why you're writing it. Right? Now, if a journalist gets the facts wrong in their interpretation of what it was, then if that's not suable, because the paper can always update new information, make things different, right? You have to prove, if you're going to sue a paper for slander, you have to prove that the editor and everyone all the way down, the person, the host or whatever, was saying what they were doing for malicious intent to harm. And right now, I don't see how you can prove that from me because I'm actually asking for some recognition of a problem that is existing in this online community. And that's all I've done. And you can't prove it that there's anything otherwise because that's in fact the truth. And so I would really like I said, like the song I started with, like, where is the love? Like, what do you think is of value in our life right now? Like, seriously, yesterday we had to look at photos in my persuasion class about like photojournalism and like what these famous photos, like what an iconic photo is. Like, there's all these different labels of like what's happening. And we were to write about the photo that made us like really affected us the most. And there was one photo that automatically brought me to tears. It really shook me to look at the photo. And the photo was a child, maybe, I don't know, 3 years old, maybe not even that, 2, toddler, bent over on the ground. And a vulture is sitting there hovering, sitting like a few feet away, waiting for the child to die. It was so disturbing to me. And the person who photographed it, I think it was like Kevin, I have it in the notes, my notes. Cartmill, I thought was the last name. Kevin Cartmill. Maybe I'm mixing two names together. One's from my anthropology class. This is from this one, but he committed suicide 3 months later. And he says that he won a Pulitzer Prize, or he won an award for the picture, but he didn't know what happened to the child after that. And before his death, he wrote this thing about no child should go hungry, no, there should go like whatever. It's like, look what's going on in the world right now. Like, just beyond that, like the war that we're in, is happening, the pandemic we've been going through as people, the political disarray, that's happening on the planet, globally, the problems, humanity is in it. And you want to sit, and this is just a microcosm of it. Like, why can't we be kind to each other? Like, why can't you care about women or me, or show me at least a little bit of respect that I'm a fucking human being trying to do something positive? I really want to do something positive here. That's all I wanted. That's all I was asking for. And it's really disappointing to see this happen. And yeah, I'd like to write about this. I'd like to write an essay about this experience that I'm having as a YouTuber during this time of human history. And whatever form that takes, like whether it's exposing what suicide trolling is and cyber harassment and what was the underbelly of this media, and my assessment of it is my fucking project. Now, what are you going to do? What are we going to do so that maybe I can write a more positive story and a positive outcome to this situation? Are we going to get better as people here, what we do, how we treat each other, what our objective is? Or are we going to do this shit? And if like a Lee Veltman and a Jolly Bridge Burner gets their jollies by burning bridges and stalking and harassing and humiliating people and saying nasty things to them and saying things in their chat that's going to trigger them to get upset and make them feel shitty and harm them emotionally, Why are we allowing people to do something like that? And that's what I was calling out. Because you guys all seem to be breaking bread together. If I'm wrong, Smoke King, then show me that I'm wrong. I know it sounds weird, but I would like to like you. Like, I don't really want to tear you down or tear your channel down or tear your franchise down or harm you in any way. But I cannot hold back from speaking what I feel is wrong and for what I think should be addressed and dealt with. We shouldn't be suffering. Whether you think I'm a Karen or this person or I'm doing this or I'm woo or whatever the fuck you think, there's certain basic standards that should happen on the internet and in this media and how we treat you. How about a little bit of professionalism for once? Or am I asking too much? So oh, Sippy, hi. Mind trauma is worse than physical. Well, you know what? It can be because, like, I mean, the physical is part of the mind trauma because, like, the physical, you know, however, because, like, the physical probably happened because the mind trauma happened first, or the emotional trauma happened first, right? But, like, hearing threats like that, like, to hear you threat, like I gotta say, Smoke King, for you to say, you come over here, I'm gonna kick your ass. Like, what the fuck, man? It's like violence is never the answer, but, you know, we live in a violent culture. Like, you know, it's just like we see it everywhere. You know, or I think sometimes, I swear to God, I think because I'm in anthropology and I'm thinking about, like, you know, how we evolved, how we came to be, like, where are we going now? Are we even going to have the biological human being anymore? Like, are we going to be extinct? And should we be extinct? Is there just something really flawed? Like, we can't be kind to each other. We can't find the love. We don't know where the love is. Is that it? Like, I just keep thinking about that photo from yesterday. I don't think I'm ever going to not see that anymore. And maybe I shouldn't, you know, because you think about, like, images and how they shock you into reality of what's what matters. Like, we don't even know how long we're going to be alive anymore. Do you feel that way? I feel that way. I feel like we could be nuked any minute. Maybe. Boom, gone like that. My last day. And I don't want to sit here I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to have this in my life because I, you know, but I'm willing to take it to stand up for what I believe is right. Because our silence will not protect us. And here, I want to show you something else. I got to quit pointing, turning into my mother. Not that that's a bad thing. And, oh, one more thing about, like, if you want to, like, if Lee Veltman or these guys ever want to deny what they do in chat rooms, here's a piece of footage of them talking about it. You know, it's some of the hurt, like when I is not so much about like what's happening with me personally. Like some of it is in my eyes is to think of the hurt of that the little boy. It's kind of like seeing what's in the world. It's depressing. Sad. Okay. Wait, hopefully I didn't do this. Hold on.
Really poor fucking form, love, just by the way.
I know.
Just saying.
Yep, I know. But then
Sick and tired of very few people stand up and call that shit out. And when someone does, they're the one that gets it in the neck every fucking time.
and they don't take the time to apologize in the chat room. Do that shit.
Yeah, that's
It
it.
ticks me off the most. The poor integrity now in certain rooms. Not all rooms. Some rooms.
All right, and like let me specify too. Let me go back again. This is Lee Veltman and Julie Bridgewater. Okay, so they're talking about this stuff here.
Chat
Yeah.
room. Do that shit.
Yeah, that's
It ticks me off the most. The poor integrity now in certain rooms. Not all rooms. Some rooms are very fun. Some rooms we go in there and talk about streaming naked with otters and stuff. It's awesome. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Other chat rooms we go and throw darts. Other chat rooms we go and talk about whatever is the discussion at hand.
You see what? Did you hear what he
So many
said? Other chat rooms we go in and we throw darts. That's the thing you need to hear. Here we go. One more time.
Other chat rooms we go and talk about whatever is the discussion at hand.
Wait.
So many people want to come in the chat room and make comments about
I
things.
need to go back
It's
for it.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Other chat rooms we go and throw darts.
There it
Other
is.
chat rooms
One
we go.
more time.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Other chat rooms we go and throw darts.
Uh-huh.
Other chat rooms we go and talk about whatever is the discussion at hand.
Yeah.
So many people want to come in the chat room and make comments about things that aren't even on topic.
Really poor fucking form, love, just by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
So many people want to come in the chat room and make comments about things that aren't even on topic.
Really poor fucking form, love, just by the way.
I know.
And
then
what I find interesting about that too, like there's people in the chat room that don't want to stay on topic. You mean like you, Lee? You know, I mean, and it's like, and it's weird that they're criticizing other people's chat rooms, like as if they are like the chat monitors for the internet. You know what I mean? I mean, I just find it kind of odd. Like, what is going on here?
Hypothetically and theoretically, letter therapy, blah, blah, blah. I've heard it all at this point. And it sucks that,
Okay, anyway, that's one of the last points I want to make. Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry. Johnny Depp came up next, like the Mr. H reviews. I emerged from the prairies of Iowa, ready to no financial ruins, and the world has gone mad. Yeah. And they literally studied transcripts from chat logs. Bunch of no-life freaks. This is what I can't figure out. Okay, these are the questions that I have about this. All right, because I'm not sure what angle I'm going to take on this piece, and if anybody has any information or something that you want me to look at, let me know. But I'm really into, like, I've really witnessed cyberbullying and trolling on a level that I'm actually really kind of glad I got to see. Because if you think about like the internet and how it happens, like it's like a phenomenon now. Like now there are, like, there's a book, Sean Atwood, I showed it on one of my shows where he's reading a book about, trolling and this and that and what happens. And I mean, people are writing books about it now. And honestly, I think it's going to be something that's going to be talked about even more And I really think that we're going to have better laws about it. I think it's so new that people don't really understand how it works or how it can psychologically affect somebody. And that is the intent of the person. Like, I think that there's some people that engage in harassment online, and their goal is to do psychological damage and to harm you. It's like they studied you. They studied, you know, it's like it's almost like they might, whoever they target, they might actually even do a psychological profile on it. And what my experience has been is that some of the people that actually do it will become your friend. They'll be very, very friendly, or they will, like, let's say example, if you are doing a show about targeted harassment or something like that, they too will have the same ailment, but in a sense, they're really not like you. All right. For example, if you look at Lee Veltman, and I've looked into, so far I don't know everything, but I mean, you can, if you want to analyze somebody or, you know, research somebody on the internet or what they do online or whatever, it's not hard to find. I mean, obviously law enforcement is looking at people and profiling them. You know, our online presence is either it'll say a lot about a person, and you know, you got to be wary or know exactly what if you're going to do something, you have to realize what the consequences of what you're doing could bring to you in terms of jobs and this and that and blah 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 blah. Right? I mean, so when you look at somebody, you know, if you look at Lee Veltman on the shows that he's actually done that you would consider, like, I know, like, I think that I've been on some legitimate shows online, you know, like higher profile shows online as a guest, or I had, you know, like, I think American Freedom Radio was a pretty good, like, people, you know, it had an established brand in what you would consider, you know, this type of media. Like, it can be called truth media, it can be called, you know, conspiracy worlds, UFO, whatever you want to do, you know. And like I said, I didn't start out like a UFO person. I'm not an experiencer. I'm not an MK Ultra victim. I'm not, you know, whatever. I mean, however, I did find out later on after doing these shows that that my family is connected to a few things, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So, but I'm still not banking on that, right? I mean, like, there are things about my family that I learned. I guess they had to tell me or something, which then you can be a conspiracy theorist about that if you wanted to. But, and it probably goes, oh, you're just saying that. Well, it's true though. I mean, if you're talking about your own personal experience, like, I was looking at things and then realizing that some of those things were actually in my own backyard. I'm like, whoa, that's weird, right? But I'm almost embarrassed to talk about it. Like, I'd rather not talk about that than, you know, focus on that and then go and all of a sudden I'm going to do all these interviews, you know, blowing it up as if it was bigger than it really is, right? Or something, you know, because there's a certain type of person that, you know, or somebody has a story. They're a whistleblower. They had an experience, you know, and look, Lee Veltman is, you know, his thing. I didn't know this right away when he first started talking to me, because when I first started talking to me, I found him to be anti-Buanon. And I was associated, I'm going to be honest, to somebody who went like full on that. And I don't know if Lee really understands this or not, but I was never really on the fence with that thing. Okay. I was always like I remember I even said to Steven, I said, I don't think it's real. Like it was right around the actor that came out and was doing MAGA and stuff, and he's not alive anymore. Okay, we're going to these things. I don't want to say these people's names, but you know where it's leading to. Because I always felt that there was something really off with Buanon. And I even told Steven, I told him what I thought about it. I go, you see where this is going to lead to, in the media, right? And he's just like, I saw where it was going to go to. I saw the Capitol building thing, not exactly what that was going to be like, but I knew something was wrong with this. This is my feeling about it from my own personal experience with it. Okay. I had a problem with the fact that everybody who came forward and said that they were blank, 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 and this happened to them, they all had to associate themselves with the Orange Man. And I'm like, well, what's up with that? Like, how come these people can't tell these stories and not go MAGA? Well, something's off, right? And I'm just being honest. I liked Lee in the beginning. I mean, I kind of like intuitively didn't trust him, but I talked to him and he would call me out of the blue, and sometimes he would just be on the phone, and he would bring up Steven, and here's another thing too, and I'm taking responsibility for it. I don't lie to people. I am not a person that hides stuff. I have a past. All right. I worked in the adult entertainment industry, so take that, Smoke King. I wrote a couple of scripts that were, and believe it or not, they were real scripts, that were made. They were AVN Award nominated. I know Ron Jeremy, Tommy Gunn, Evan, what's his name? The blonde guy, the Fabio one. I know that, I remember all the dudes, no women, right? Screw the chicks. Who cares about them? Okay. And that's a whole story. Like, I was even thinking about, one of the things that because I took a screenwriting class this last semester, and I went with another idea, but it was my teacher was like, yeah, you should write that one too. It was about my experience doing those projects from my experience, like comic writes a script for a adult film, and goes into another world, and because it was like I saw things, I saw things, it's like going into a world that you don't belong, you've never been in before, and then boom, you're in this other world. And then what did I take from that? Like, what wisdom did I get out of that, if any? I think I did, or I have unanswered questions. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm an artist, so not every medium that I have chosen to create in is respectful, but it was legal. I didn't break any laws, right? So, I didn't do anything illegal. I maybe did something that makes me, people can judge me for it. It might make me more interesting. It might not make me more interesting. It might, look, man, I'm a comedian too. I swore on stage, and, my act was an adult act, and this and that. I'm not like a person that, is pious or perfect, or it's not like I haven't fucked up in my life before, or done things I'm ashamed of, or dated people that, wasn't a healthy relationship. I've been involved in things that I was naive about. But I'll tell you one thing about myself. when I realize I made a mistake or I understand something in a different way, I will change and go in the other direction or try an attempt to do the right thing. I understand this now. I got really close. I was like either in the fishbowl sometimes, or I got right up close to the window of what happened with people, and I was involved with them, and I was dating them, and I was in intimate relationships with people that were involved. And it happened because I was associated with this media that all of a sudden went kind of like right wing or something. And it hasn't really stopped either. And it has done a huge influence on this media, how that's affected the mainstream media, how that's affected out in politics, like how it affects our free speech, how it affects how we're treating each other or whatever. And I know that I'm probably going off on a bit of a tangent here. But if you want to really see like what is motivating me to want to observe this activity and write something about it, for me, it has a lot of legs to it, because Lee Veltman is in the mix of that. Like, he came out like during Unirock, and there's this other thing, and I've heard other people in their videos mention it. And then it's like, well, is that what's the common denominator? And is there a common denominator? Is this 17th of the letter alphabet thing, or the unitard thing, or the thing that involves with like pizza that you like to eat or whatever, WikiLeaks, this and that, like what happened in 2016, is all of that. And I know Lee Veltman was questioning those things. And in many ways, I respected him for that, because there were things that Lee said that I agreed with. But what I don't agree with is that he's like spying on my chat room and coming in. And that makes me feel uncomfortable. And it bothers me about what I perceive him to have been doing to other women. And if that's the case, then we as people need to say something about it. Because if you don't, then it continues. And other people will have it happen to them. And I don't think that that should be happening to me or anybody else. And so whatever's going on here, like, what is it? And then honestly, to be honest, Smoke King, these people are associated with your channel, or it's a hub for them. And, if I really thought that Jeff Reed was a homophobe and saying homophobic things, I would ban him in my chat room. I would not accept it. But it's to me, like, what you're saying is the equivalent to like what Sarah Rachel Adams said when I was mad at her and I said, I'll eat you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, meaning it kind of like not really seriously. And then she turned it around and passed it around and said that I was threatening to rape her. It's like, if we want to, we can take a photo and just like that journalist that took that picture of the little boy. Obviously, he took it because he saw something in the photo and he was sending the message out to people. Just like that, we can take you can take something like that and like spin it, because you're a good spinner, you're a good speaker, you're charismatic, you had your show, you got a following, right? And you spin it in something, and if the people also have already been trashing this person, already been spying in their chat rooms, already pretending to be their friend, but then backstab them later, blah, 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 blah. And they've been doing it to all these other people too. When you look at that and then you say something like that, those people are going to feed on it. And of course, they're going to say things and back it up. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Now, an outsider might look at it and go, well, what is this? And then actually go in and like watch and see what's really going on. or they may believe it because you said it, and because people are, it's like what I was learning is like sometimes they trust and they believe and they want to believe because it was said, and maybe it was said over and over again, that even though there isn't really any truth, it must be really happening. Now, realizing that that's happening, I would be very careful to say something that I would be saying about like the activities of Jolly Bridgeburger and Lee Beltman. But there's so many things out there, not only from my own personal experience, but other people who are media hosts that have edited and done things and made clips about it or whatever. Like, there are eyes everywhere watching this, right? And so if I'm coming out and saying, this has been happening to me with Lee Beltman, and these are my experiences with Lee Beltman, and blah, 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 blah. And there's even one other woman or another woman, and then another woman, and then and some other people, and then this and that, and they're able to show it, and they're able to show clips of them proving their point about what they're saying, then how can you deny that and just pass it off and say, well, this is just an opinion, when it's actually people who are also, just like Lee Beltman coming out and saying that he's a victim of the teen industry. How do we know that for sure? How do we know about that anybody who comes out and says they're a super soldier or whatever? What proof that do we have that they are really that other than themselves? Can they prove that they are what they say they are other than themselves saying it? And that's where the proof in the pudding really comes into. So Lee Beltman and what he does really isn't any different than the people that he criticizes doing, or any one of us. I mean, look, I showed that video about Okies on the Okies Weird channel or whatever, and the how I infiltrated a bizarre conspiracy cult. We already have a folklore to follow and bullshit people with. Look, I am all about like being honest and regrouping and finding out what the truth is. And I think, Smoke King, that may be our common denominator as people deep down inside, even though we don't like each other right now. And I would like to think that maybe because we really deep down inside are both really trying to tell the truth, that somehow this can calm down and we can make some sort of peace and agreement so that you and I can be better at what we're doing for other people. That is really the ideal outcome that I would like to see. And if Lee Beltman is not doing what I think he's doing or what I'm perceiving him to be doing, then I open up for the grace of that as well. And that is all I'm going to say here on the topic anymore. And I hope that that is enough to have this calm down, really. And we can just kind of go about our business. I don't want to hear stories of people who are on my show being stalked afterwards, because I'm concerned about that. And I don't want people to come into my chat rooms that are not showing their identity if that's what you're doing. If you're coming in to pull some bullshit that I don't really understand why you're doing it, then I'm asking for that to stop. And either way, I'm going to write something about this time in human history. And no matter what, there ain't nothing you can do about that. As long as I'm here and I can do it, I'll be doing it. All right. And on the end of that note, I'm going to close. Hi, Mark. Nice to see you. All right. I'm going to close like showing my my own act. Just because like you'll also see me talk about like my thoughts on gay marriage and stuff like that. And you know, it's titled Marijuana Stand-Up Comedy. Tere, Joyce, Last Comic Standing. That's the title of it. I forgot how I titled that. All right. Bye, you guys. Wait, I just want to make sure that just make sure I have it right here. I hope you find something funny in here and you enjoy it. Please like and share, subscribe.
I do smoke weed. I love weed. And thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely like, I'm actually a marijuana activist, and I can tell you like how that kind of like came about for me in a sort of different way. At first, I could kind of take it or leave it when I was growing up. I mean, I wasn't like a stoner chick in high school or anything like that. But what I do like about marijuana is that it changes your perspective on reality. Right? And these aren't easy times. So sometimes I feel like I need it. Like I'm like, fuck it, I can't pay rent. Universe will give it to me. Right? You know, and I started to think about it, like no one's ever died from smoking marijuana, ever. In the history of mankind, nobody's ever died from smoking marijuana. I always want to know why. Why is that illegal? That makes me want to just go out and smoke it just blatantly. It's illegal? I'm not dying from it. More and more. Oh, I'm so high. I'm still alive. You know? I'm still here. Only now I see the bullshit that exists in the world, and you don't like that. You know? Right? I mean, that's like what it's really all about, you know? And I had a friend of mine, he says, you know what? If you legalize marijuana, you might as well just legalize crystal meth. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, come on. You cannot compare pot smokers to twerkers. I mean, maybe they get their house cleaned up and shit, but whatever. Okay, good for you, all right? You know what, and I know, like, especially out here, like, I see the horrible tweaker signs. I mean, like, oh my God. And I know that happens because I lived with a tweaker before, and it's a nightmare. You turn on your remote control and your fucking microwave goes off. You know, you got things wired from here to here, you know, like there's like a freaking paint stroke that's like half done, like, fuck it, I lost my attention span, let's paint something else. Hey man, why don't you try it? You want to know why it's so great? Because Hitler made it, and that's how the Berlin Wall went up. I'm like, wow, what a selling point. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like the word, like, come on now. Like, how is this even like, you're sitting there, I mean, I've done it before. It's like all, and it's like freaking Drano up here. But you know what? I think that the tweaker and the pot smoker can work together. Because the pot smoker will think up stuff and the tweaker will execute it. This is really how we create a perfect society. If you can't beat them, just use it in our favor. No, I really don't subscribe to that. I actually think it's a medicine. You know, I think it's really helpful for people. I love the vernacular now. I mean, like I find it kind of like people call it marijuana, marijuana was the Mexican version because like when they wanted to outlaw it, they called it marijuana because the Mexicans brought it into the country and blah, 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 blah. I was just on Normal today. I don't know if you ever listened to that show, but it's Normal Show Live with Radical Russ. He did a whole thing on how marijuana was named after the Virgin Mary. Yeah, believe it or not. And Juana meant stuff, so it was like Mary stuff. No, I like that as a sacrament, but that's like really a good one. I live in West Hollywood, which I used to live in West Hollywood. Actually, I kind of relocated up here, which is a sanctuary city, which is really cool. You can actually smoke marijuana on the street there. Yeah, you can legally, and you can actually. So I thought it'd be really cool because I'm not really gay, but I support gay rights. I'm sorry, maybe you're probably gonna judge me because I think everybody needs to be free to love anybody that they want. And so I wanted just for the hell of it, just stand in front of like a gay club on Santa Monica Boulevard in front of a cop and go, "I'm gay and I'm smoking pot." Free at last, free at last. So I think that would be fun. And being that, I lived there, I saw a hydroponic store, and I was actually growing my first plants. And I walked into the store and I was all excited. I'm like, hey, I'm growing my first marijuana plants. And they looked at me all sour-faced and they go, we only grow basil and cherry tomatoes here. Like, I felt like I brought the lube and the dildos to the wrong party. I was like, oh, let me turn this off. Bag. Right. So, and then I thought, well, maybe they're talking in code. Like, what do I have to do to grow some really big cherry tomatoes? Actually, it was Mark. One time Mark called me up like a while ago, and he's all enthusiastic and he's going, Terry, Kirsten Dunst just came out. And I go, wow, she's gay? He goes, no, she smokes weed. I'm like, wow, I have to come out for that? Like, I have to come out for that. And you kind of do, really. You gotta go, Mom and Dad, no, I'm not gay, I smoke weed. Get the hell out of my house! Do you realize? No. But I came out, like, in a really big way. Like, I was on the cover of the Pasadena Weekly with the American flag behind me. And I was blowing like marijuana smoke in the air, and there were the words like bong loads of justice, and how a DEA raid turned me into a missionary for medical marijuana. Like, yeah, my parents were proud of me. Like, now my mom calls me and she goes, Terry, have you been bonging? Because you sound like you've been bonging. Like, I asked my dad, I said, Dad, did you go to Woodstock? And he goes, what do you mean, like the Peanuts character? No, like Summer of Love and like Jimi Hendrix. Your mom and I had jobs. We were serious people. Like, wow, I nearly used to smoke some weed. The main thing I really love the most about like the plant is that it makes paper, fiber, fuel, energy. We can run our cars on it. We can eat from it. And you know what? California, believe it or not, is about to legalize industrial hemp. We might actually get this on the ballot, which means that would be jobs for us. And we could maybe actually not have like a patent seed like Monsanto anymore. We can actually eat a real seed again. So anyway, but there is hope. But one thing is that with smoking marijuana, don't you think you're brilliant when you do it? There is that element. Sometimes I think maybe it's a little bit out of hand, when a sign says no U-turn? What if it meant no U-turn? Oh my God. I think doing the hokey pokey is really what it's all about. Right on, you touch your left, and you shake it all about. You get that? Okay. I know why God gave women yeast infections. So they'll know what it's like to live with an irritating cunt. But I went to an Indian casino in Oregon. It was the Mill Casino, actually, of all places, on Coos Bay, to be really honest about where I was at. And just so you know, so I was talking about marijuana, kind of like what I'm talking about tonight. And I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna go and smoke a little bud in my room and have like it's called God's gift, And so, and you know how like when you actually smoke, you kind of smoke it, and then you get that little high, and then you have like some coffee or whatever, and then there's half an hour, and then you do whatever. You can like talk to somebody, you go on stage, or whatever. The perfect because I'm really bad on alcohol. I'm terrible at alcohol. Like last Cinco de Mayo, I woke up in bed next to Ronald McDonald and Carrot Top, and you know what? I'm not sure, but it might have been Carrot Top. And yeah, I'm just joking. But I do have a Carrot Top story, but I'll never tell anybody. Anyway, that's for the memoir. But I actually, where was I in my story now? I went up a Carrot Top and a tangent. Oh, so sometimes like I need to calm down or whatever, and I'm just really not good with this. I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of shots tonight. I'll be like going, but not normally. And so I cleaned my act up, and so where was I again? I was talking about volleyball. You don't know where I'm at. Also at the casino, right? Okay. Anyway, funny. So I'm at the casino and I smoked some weed. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go back. And then there was a knock on the door. I go, who is it? And they're like, it's the federal police. I'm like, oh shit. Where's the incense? Damn it. Do you have marijuana in there? Yes. Yes, I do. Do you realize that you're the entertainer and you're smoking marijuana? And for a flash moment, I thought, why does this surprise him? I'm like, yeah, I'm the entertainer. I have the weed. I thought that's what we could do, but I didn't say that. And I said, well, I'm a medical marijuana patient for California, and this is Oregon. I thought it was okay if I, medicated between shows. And he goes, this is an Indian casino. It's owned by the federal government. I'm like, shit, why didn't I know that? I thought the Indians own it. What happened to the Indians? Kemosabe, the peace pie, what happened, And so then I thought, I looked at him and I go, I did not know that. If I had known that, I would have never have disrespected you like I am right now. And he says, can I see your recommendation? I go, yeah, and I bring it out and I send it to him and he looks it over. And he goes, well, we're not gonna arrest you, but we are gonna have to take your weed. I'm like, shit. Good news, bad news all at once. Damn it. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if he had a contact high or whatever, but he goes, well, we're not going to take your weed. We're going to let you put it in the car. I was like, no way. And I go, well, I got to go on stage really quick, and I don't have much time, and my car's in the valet parking. And he goes, oh, no problem. We'll let the front desk know. And he goes, the comedian will be coming downstairs to put her marijuana in the car. And literally, I'm in front of the front desk going, And I got back on stage. So that was what happened. I wasn't arrested that time, which is really good because like it's not the first time I've actually really seen the feds before. I mean, like they've like, you know what I mean? I don't. Has anybody seen the feds in the face at all? Probably not, because like, you know, you probably never really want to, because it's not funny. Like when you're smoking weed and the feds show up, it's a fucking buzzkill. Always. And what happened is that I was actually in a doctor's office, which is the same building as they had a medical marijuana dispensary. And all of a sudden I was there and like somebody goes, they go, it's a raid. It's a raid. And like, you know, and they came up the stairs. And let me tell you something. When they don't just knock on the door like they did at the hotel, they just freaking go, you know, and then it's like freaking, it's like guns, boom, 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 boom. It was like right here, like they were like just like this, boom, and you or me, and I like totally freaked out. I go, I'm just a comedian. I was the last comic standing, and I go, oh my god, I just did credits. I totally disgust myself. That's disgusting. And then like all of a sudden this guy gets like freaking like thrown on the ground. He's hog-tied right down next to me, and I'm like, wow, that just ruined bondage for me forever. You know? And then then one guy like handcuffed me and he goes, well, where's your person? And I go, oh, it's over there. And no, over there, you know, and he takes out my driver's license and he goes, oh. He goes, is everything on here accurate? And I said, yes, except for the weight. I mean, you know how that is. You know, I'm about 10 pounds off. You know, we all lie, right? You know. And, you know, they bring us into a room, too, and, like, they put us, like, this little horseshoe kind of thing, and you know, then we're looking at the FBI, and they're looking at us, and then all of a sudden it's, like, really quiet, and then somebody says, I'd like to have a drink of water. And the DEA says, well, if we give you water, we have to give everyone else here water. And then somebody else says, well, I'd like to have a drink of water. And then we're like, yeah, we want water, we want water. Give us water, we want it to be filtered too, fuckers. We care about our bodies, we want natural water, not tap. So then it came time to check out, and this guy had this like little camera at me, and you know, I go, okay, I'm getting my first mug shot, and I didn't want to take a bad picture, so I kind of like turned to the left side of my face, you know, because that's the better side. I smiled, and the guy goes, "This is a serious photo," and I'm like, oh. And then, like, you know, then they go, do you have any alias? I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm Tere Joyce on Facebook. You can friend request me. We don't do Facebook like that. Hell, you don't, right? So, but here's how silly it all is. This is how silly it all is. They came in, they did what they did, they screamed and yelled at us, and then they took a couple TVs and all of the weed. I'm sure they like watching football and smoking out and having a great time on our dime. And you know, that's basically it. And then like at one point, like the DEA agent looks at me, and you know what, here's the thing. I actually found them sexually attractive, which like I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I don't know what it is. Maybe it was a little ponytail, you know what I mean? or like some of them have like little like cheesy goatees, and they're all buff with their shirts. Like, hey man, like, are you gonna strip for me now? Oh, okay, anyway. You know, take it off. Oh, I love handcuffs, but so you know, but there was the little short one. The short one was checking out, right? So he had little tiny hands, and I was like all trying to like, you know, size him up. So, you know, at the end of the day, he looked at me and he says, so, like, and he's being like all serious, like, so, are you a medical marijuana patient? And I wasn't then. And he says, do you smoke? He didn't snort. He goes, that's just me. Because, you know, like, I mean, like they're all pigs. You know, do you smoke marijuana illegally? And I go, you're turning me on, man. I'm hot. And I said, On occasion, yes. And he said, that's the most honest thing anybody ever said to me here tonight, so go ahead and check out. So I gotta wait for it. I gotta wait. I still haven't. I'm probably gonna end up being. Thank you. I'm probably gonna get arrested tonight in Richland. Hey, funny girl, we're here. Like a poltergeist or something, So I've actually been. Oh, thank you. Wow. You guys are the nicest crowd. Like, this is the best response I've ever had on that marijuana material. So you guys must really thank you. You must really partake here, which is great. That little hand right there. That's a tiny hand. Bring it up here.